for the very first time, Thunder Bucket, the 84 Tercel 4-wheel drive wagon, is in the garage. So as you can see, she's officially plated, registered, insured, fully legal. I just really haven't been driving it because I know it needs a little bit of work, particularly tires. The tires in the front are like a 155 and they're not great tread-wise, and it leaks air and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do in this video is do a quick walk around front to back, kind of show all the details with it, tell you guys my plans with her, and then we'll clean the interior out and see what all I find. And then I might clean up my garage too, because it's a disaster. There's boxes and parts and projects everywhere. So anyway, if you guys haven't watched my previous video when I got this thing, I would highly recommend you check it out. My fire's making noises and blowing up, it's fine. Yeah, I guess let's get moving front to back. Okay, so starting with the front, you can see this lens over here is busted. The bulb does still work, and this one's a little bit derpy, but I'm gonna leave this one a little bit derpy because Spud's passenger one's a bit derpy too, so, you know, feel like they're twins or relatives or whatever you wanna say. We got a light out over here and a headlight out. I have another headlight for it. I'm gonna be swapping a lot of these bulbs in the front to LEDs. This inner light's also out. And then pop it under the hood here. Underneath here, everything looks okay. I'm gonna do a quick vacuum line check and just see if anything's wrong with any of the vacuum lines. The fan is actually not working. This is an aftermarket fan, and I have other fans for it, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug another fan in place and make that work. Outside of that, I mean, the whole trip home, I don't think we really lost any coolant. We added some windshield washer fluid, and air filter's pretty good. All the fuel lines are in pretty good shape. Everything's really not too bad under the hood here. The valve stem seals are leaking, and I am going to set the timing at 10 degrees as opposed to the factory 5. I don't know what it's currently at right now, but I'm going to advance the timing a little bit. There's a little bit of structural rot. I don't know if it's considered structural, but there's a little bit of rot going on inside here. We didn't lose any brake fluid, which is good. We got a filter that I don't like on there, so we're going to take care of that. We might throw some belts on it. I think this AC belt's a little bit loose. That one's also a hair on the loose side. I got a ton of belts, so I might throw belts on it. The timing belt, I know that was replaced at some point in time, but I don't know the condition of it. So I might check on that a little later. This oil over here is probably from me spilling when I first filled the oil up in this car. So let's see what's going on over here. We got a little bit of rot going on. Tires are a little bit small and a little bit under pressure. There's a bit of rust along here on the doors. All these door handles are pretty sticky. I think the driver's side's the only one that actually like comes down halfway okay, but all the other ones are really bad. So I'm gonna spray them with penetrating oil. Probably also gonna grease up these window tracks. I have some door panels that I'm probably gonna swap out with these, so I might do that at some point in time. It needs a roof rack, no questions. A little bit of rot back here. Nothing majorly terrible, but I'm definitely gonna be taking care of it. This trim piece is kind of beat up. I think I have a piece stashed away for one of these, but I'm not positive exactly yet. It's sagging in the rear, and I think a lot of that is because of how much weight is in here right now. There's a ton of parts and stuff in it. We got license plate lights, brake lights are working, new wiper blade, that's all working, so that's good to see. Over on the passenger side, a little bit of rot down there, nothing too bad. This side's actually really in fairly okay shape. So we'll get her taken care of in time. So I guess that's really a majority of the exterior. These are out too. I think on both sides. I have bulbs for them as well, LEDs. So I'll be swapping those out with LEDs, along with the brake lights and the dome lights, and probably the license plate lights as well. A bunch of other stuff. So what I'm thinking my plans are going to be, at least as of right now, is do a little bit of a budget but a budget like rally inspired build. Maybe some lights along the top or some lights along the front bumpers, and then I plan on putting Monroe MA700 air shocks in the rear to give it a couple inches of lift in the back, and then needs to stay on Pathfinder springs in the front. Don't worry, I can leave all those part numbers in the description of that video when the time comes for that. But I think I'll lift it up, fix it up, do a bunch of the little maintenance and stuff that it needs. I'm going to do MR2 brake conversion, so it'll get an MR2 AW11 MR2 booster, master cylinder, and front calipers with vented rotors off of a 92 Tercel. And when that comes, I'll show you guys how to do all that stuff too. And then I'm going to run MR2 triangles on it, which I already have the wheels, but they're in another car in the trunk, which is far enough of a distance that I don't want to walk to show you guys. So we'll get to that when we get tires for it. But yeah, that's kind of my plan. Love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on that. Leave a note down in the word spot what you'd like to see. Start off by warming up the garage a little bit because it's still only 38 in here roughly. Wood stove's going, but I think I'm gonna have to feed it a little bit more. So anyway, we'll go ahead and start cleaning it up after it gets warm and then see what fun things we find in here.
Stuck in my home, nowhere to go outside. And I'm stuck inside my feelings. I started talking to myself. I keep it all on the inside, so I can fake and smile. Can I get a little rest from the world hanging on my chest? Can I take some time away just hold me in your arms? I keep pulling myself up, I keep wearing myself down, staring all through the wall while my head moves through it all.
Alrighty, well here's the stash. I don't know what all is in any of these boxes just yet, so we're gonna go through that in a second. But first things first, I want to check into this transmission. So I was told this transmission started making some noise, and that's why he had it swapped out, which is why it has 410 gears in it. Turning this input shaft over, it feels pretty good. This bearing is definitely loud, so I wonder if it was the pilot bearing that might have been doing it. But for fun, we're gonna go ahead and pull the input shaft out and just see what comes up, which might be nothing, might be something. Let's find out, I guess. Should have used a deep well on that. There's some remnants of RTV on here, which tells me this thing's been pulled out probably once before. But hands aren't hammers, but here we are anyway. Mallet time. Well, this gear looks a little discolored. It's hard to see because it's covered in oil, but there's definitely some transferred metal going on inside of here. So sadly, it got a little bit burned up. Probably ran out of fluid or ran low on fluid. So this transmission is sadly not very usable. I'm sure I can find something inside of there that's salvageable, but it's not great. Let's see what we can find inside of it. Yeah, look at that. Look at all the damage to the crown of the tooth. Sadly, she is not good, but that doesn't mean this transmission is totally unusable. We'll go ahead and mark it up, what it is, what it's out of. We'll go ahead and stash it because something will be salvageable out of this thing one way or another. Sadly, nobody makes gears for them anymore, but hey, if I can get one part out of it and puts another Toyota Tercel wagon on the road, it did its job. So we'll mark it up, go ahead and put it in the stash. I got a couple transmissions down there, so we'll go ahead and shove it down there wherever I can make it fit, and then we'll keep going on to the next thing. Alrighty, so next box over. These are going to be brake parts, which I'll actually be utilizing these soon. And another rescue coming up soon. Got pads, Yeah, those look right. Pretty meaty. Got a seal in here too. 224210. Something on a wheel bearing seal. Maybe for the rear. No, it's not. Either way, that is this. I'll just put this away for later because I'm going to need that soon. We got some oil, some brake fluid, some 10W40 high performance Firestar, and then we got the best of the best VR1 racing oil, which might not be VR1 racing oil in it. Oh no, the seal's still together. So this is not cheap oil. Good old can of backup stop leak, always good to have. And then let's see now. We got some CV shafts. I don't know if they're any good or not, but let's go ahead and look and find out and see what it looks like. That one is a used CV shaft, which is probably perfectly rebuildable. Oh, let's see what this one is. Another used one, also probably rebuildable. Well, actually, it's in pretty good looking shape on the outside, but we got another CV shaft in a very beat up box, which appears to also be used because it's a bit rusty. Yeah, this one's probably been used. There's some flankers on it. Boots are in good shape, but cool. We got 3 CV shafts. This will be good to stash. You never know when you might emergency need one. So we'll put those. Oh wow, that did not get visually at all for you guys. My apologies. Either way, 3 CV shafts, all definitely used, but salvageable. They can be rebuilt. So we'll go ahead and kick these off at the side. I'm about to put these in my part stash. Alrighty, let's move on to the fun boxes. All the goodies. Let's do this one first. This is a fan right here. It's a bit sticky, but I bet if I were to put a new motor on it, it would still be good. Who knows? Maybe this maybe this motor just needs a little bit of oil, but the motor's only like $20, and they're still available on Rock Auto. So in here we got the headlight bucket. We have a cool little front lens, lower lens, which is nice because one of them is cracked, so that's good. Spare belt. This one's new. I think this is an AC belt. This one is probably an alternator or power steering belt. We got a chrome trimmer on the headlight. We got a transmission bracket. So this is with the transmission mount bolts too, I believe. Yeah, it is. So that's nice. A blower motor. And a little fan. Oh, this is probably the old fan? Or a fan that was rigged up to it at one point in time? Really don't know. It's got Nip and Denso, so it should be Toyota. I don't know what this is. Part of the fan? It's small. Maybe it's the an AC fan? I don't know. We got a spare starter. Looks like a reduction starter. Bosch remanufactured. Completely locked up. Probably no good, but good core. Maybe I can pull the solenoid off of it should I need one on another one. But we'll put it down in the stash of dead starters. Here we have a blower motor, which looks like it's in really good shape. So that's good. Got a nice seal around it still. We got what appears to be some seals. Yep, these are seals. I think these are for either the wheel bearings. Yeah, these look like wheel bearing ones. Not for the transmission, I can tell you that. We got another spare starter. This one, I think this is functioning. It moves. This one might be good. We'll hang on to this. Okay, looks like we got a distributor with 4 nice spark plug wires. I like having a spare distributor on hand in all my cars when I'm running on road trips. So that's nice. Beck Arnley box. 101 3724. Oh, wheel cylinder. Nope, sorry, that's a bushing. I thought it was a wheel cylinder. Turns out I'm an idiot. This looks like a bushing for probably the sway bar or control arm. Either way, that'll be nice to have. We got a thermostat gasket. Here's the little grommet for the valve cover. Timing belt tensioner spring. That'll be nice to have. We got, looks like some valve cover grommets. These things are contaminated with water. I had probably a 40 of these, so we're going to pitch those. A couple screws. A little magnetic pickup of sorts. It's been cut. Ooh, the thermo vacuum static switch, whatever they call these. That's nice. These are kind of rare and hard to find. I'll test it later and find out if it's good. Ooh, an exhaust manifold flange gasket. Nice. We got a 4-wheel drive shifter bucket. Wow, this thing's rusty. This thing is it's completely seized. Honestly, I don't think much is really salvageable on this. It's like a hinge joint. I've got some of these that are in way better shape. I might soak it in penetrating oil and see what we can free up, but this is probably going to go in the scrap bin. We got a booster. Doesn't feel like it's got much tension to it. I don't know if this is going to be any good or not, but... Ooh, a second front lens. Score. A fuel pump gasket. A freeze plug. EGR gaskets. Just a coil. Whatever words, terminologies. A connector of some sort. Hold it up for transmission. It's like a shifter bushing, possibly. So that's all that's in this box. Probably gonna bin this because I have a couple nice ones, and then this is trash. All right, now onto the next box. Very obviously a timing belt. There's really no marks on it, but we can make this work should we ever need to. More spare belts. We got spare. Oh, these brake hoses? Yes! Awesome! That's nice. We got some strut inserts. The threads are not good, but that can be cleaned up. Are they any good, though? They move out. I should really not be putting this tension down on these without lubing this shaft up, but... well, good enough for an old 80s Toyota. Okay, what else do we got in here? A spare water pump gasket, which is not in great shape. I've put water pumps on with just RTV before on these, so it probably would be salvageable. So we got some spark plugs, platinum Bosches. More money than I would ever spend. We got a used tissue. Ugh. Put that away. These are the little boots. They go either on top or the bottom of the springs. We have a shifter bushing, or a shifter, whole shifter, shiftener, or shifted. We got an drum brake shoe, another one. Oh hey, look, the heat plate for the fuel pump. I don't know if this car has one or not, but that's good to have. I only have like one of those. Got a couple of tie rod ends. They feel okay. This one's got a little bit more play, but they would be usable. More gaskets. This is not for this car. This is a exhaust manifold gasket, presumably, but the intake and the exhaust run together on these cars. If it is part of one of these, I've never seen it before. Ooh, a speedometer cable. Cut. That's unfortunate. But the gear is salvageable. Throw that away. Let's see, we got more gross tissues. Yuck. We got a mud flap for the left rear and a mud flap for the right rear, which this car does not have either right now, so that's good. We have a leafy clutch for the throw-out bearing. And another clutch. Let's pull this out. What do we got here? Felpro gaskets B449. I think this is valve cover. Got another Rock Auto box right here, which has seals for the front wheel bearing. Oh, front set of front wheel bearings. Yep, that looks like this is actually, I think, a front wheel bearing because it's in a bigger box. Yep, that's a front wheel bearing. That's seals for a front wheel bearing. And this little box is Timken part number which is presumably also a seal, also probably for the front. So there is seals, so that's really nice. You can do a roadside wheel bearing, even though they're not really very feasible to do on the side of the road. Lastly, an alternator, which is completely locked up, which is very unfortunate, but a good core. Another clutch. Nope, this is just the plate. A little bit rusty, but this is usable. I would use this. I'm gonna have to clean some of this stuff up so it doesn't rust really bad. We got a tire chuck, pilot bearing, alignment tool, throw bearing, a dirty box that can go in the fire. This tire chuck is basically useless because it's 1/4 inch. Then we got this. So this is a, where is this? A Beck Armley. Hey, another blower motor. This one looks like it's been in pieces. Yeah, this is all tore apart. And the springs are all missing, and yeah. This might be an old blower motor that's junk and it was salvaged or saved, which isn't a bad thing. So, well, that's all the parts that are with this car, I guess. Decent pile of parts that came with it, so I'm pretty happy. Some of this stuff I'm definitely going to be using, so that is super awesome. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and pick this all back up and I'll put it back in the boxes. Maybe I'll organize it downstairs in my parts bin. It's more of a parts disaster, but you know what I mean. So I'll go ahead and take care of some of this stuff, and then we'll get moving back onto this old girl right here. Alrighty, we are going to start off with pulling this door panel off so that way we can grease up this window track and this door latch. You can realistically spray it from the outside, but I'm going to get on the inside here and get the window tracks and everything all greased up. I feel a little bit better about it. I'm going to do this to all 4 doors. Pulling the doors off is super simple. You just need a Phillips screwdriver and a small little pick. There is 3 screws that hold it in place, and then 1 little clip for the go up, go down switch in the window. So one of the screws is right there, another one is inside of this pocket, and the other one is kind of buried inside of there. So we're going to pull this bigger one off first. Yeah. There's that one. Pull this one out, and then that can be our bucket for our screws. One more over here. Okay. There's probably plenty of tricks of the trade to get these things out, but I typically just kind of get behind them with a pick and pop them out. And then from there, this should just pop straight out. Then you can kind of just slide this thing back in between these 2 grooves right here. Kind of like so, and then when you go to put the thing back on, you can just kind of tap it in place and it'll seat right home. So that should be a majority of everything you'll need. There's a ton of plastic little clips that kind of hold this thing to the door buried around here, along with this trim up at the very top. But we will go ahead and kind of just start down here and very gently pry straight out. Pull this piece out first. Sometimes these things come out kind of funny. I pulled these door panels off and I'm just come right up with it. These just pull straight up. There we go. There we go. Oh. here is a few tabs underneath here that you gotta kind of get to pop up, and these things probably have never been removed, so they really did not want to cooperate with me, but that's not a big deal. So when you're spraying these things down with penetrating oil, these are going to be the major areas that are going to have actual movement dealt with on them. So I would spray all these areas with white lithium or penetrating oil. I personally prefer penetrating oil over white lithium, but to each their own. So this is just a real quick little show you all the places to spray, and then back to the video. Pop this thing back here a little bit. Use a little electrical tape to hold this thing back in place. Yeah. Go inside of here. See if I can't do this with one hand. And spray these linkages and latches down. There's all that. Here's the window tracks right here. Can I get this? There's that. Spray the wiper transmission down. That's going to be part of it anyway. There's another moving mechanism at the bottom. Spray this track over here. And now let's go ahead and roll this thing up and down a little bit. Let's see what's going on here. This still wants to kind of fall off its track. I think I'm going to have to reglue it at the bottom. Oh, still rolls down a little better. So let's go ahead and spray this side and that side down real quick. Let that run up and down it. Let that run up and down it. Whoops. Oh, yeah. Whew. So much better. This was quite the elbow effort before. Let's smooth it up with each stroke. Wink. Alright, we're going to go ahead and spray this down a little bit. It's probably going to get a little bit of penetrating oil on the glass, but it's fine. We'll spray this track down here. That should give it a little bit more along that track in there, which is going to be moving up and down every time. You can hear it kind of binding up a little bit here and there. And smooth it out once it gets dry right there. So we'll spray this a little bit more. Okay. Let's go ahead and maybe spray this cross section right here. There's two little arms that kind of cross right here on a little pin. We'll spray that a little bit. Oh yeah. Like $1 million. Well, maybe not $1 million, but it's still binding up a tad. It's still a lot better. Let's see. Just focus. I'm using you guys as my visual. Yeah, maybe we'll spray in here a little bit. See if we can't get anything. It's probably a waste of penetrating oil at this point, but whatever. Oh yeah. That feels really good now. Awesome. Now, here's the real question. Is the door handle any better? Yes, it is. Right straight down. Sweet. So all these other door handles, you gotta open them. See how they're not really coming down? If I open this up, I have to basically pull it right down right away. So it makes it very difficult for people to get in and out of. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all 4 of these doors. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but it's gonna be worth it. I'll spray the latches down too while I'm at it. I might as well, since those probably haven't been sprayed in a very long time. So anyway, I guess I'll set you guys up on a boring time lapse. And then we'll get moving. Maybe knock out some hinges too. I think these hinges are a bit wore out. But we'll spray them down for now. So anyway, let's keep moving.
Footsteps take the claws from the door. I wanna be free from myself sometimes. Let go. I wanna let go for a second. And I wanna know what it's like to not be afraid.
So something I probably should have pointed out a little bit earlier, when you're lifting these things up, what's actually happening inside of the door here is this rod right there is moving up and down. So see all that right there? And that's another mechanism that moves right there. So it's a good idea to spray all of those little parts with penetrating oil or white lithium grease. I personally am a fan of penetrating oil. It leaves a little bit of a stank, depending on which penetrating oil you're using, but that is my go-to. So let's go ahead and shoot this down here a little bit. Yep. My can's almost gone. Come on. There we go. Go ahead and hit this mechanism all up. Hit the window tracks. Oh boy. And then should be about good. Go ahead and hit all this stuff right in here. Get this door back together, and that'll be this. So, hooray! The other part is going to be how this window actually kind of rolls up and down. If your window binds a little bit, do not force it. You will break these little transmissions. I do have a few, so in the event that one breaks, shoot me an email at tercelrescue@gmail.com. There's a chance I'll have one left over, but I always spray these things in here because you can see how this kind of slides up and down these rails. So I tend to spray this whole rail along here with penetrating oil. Looks like I kind of missed a spot right there. And then inside of there is a little transmission right here. It's going to soak this whole thing down. And then there's a little pin that kind of supports the two halves that meets inside of there. I like to get that area really sprayed down too. That's a majority of the parts that it moves on. There is another track system down at the bottom here. It's kind of hard to get to, but that's a majority of it right here. Let me spray this track a little bit better, and then we'll try and see how this thing rolls up and down now. Oh yeah, one-handed now. Like literally. Whoop, ignore that, I'm just dropping stuff. Oh, sweet. Awesome. Well, job well done. I'll go ahead and put this door back together, and then we will have 4 fully operating greasy fingers and doors and latches. And put a thumbs up. Alrighty. Now that we got all of the door latches working, we got all the windows rolling up and down really nice. We haven't changed any of the door hinges, even though I know it needs some. That's fine. We'll do that another day. We are going to go ahead and slap in some LEDs. So I got, let's see here. What all do I have here? Let me figure it out. So this is what we got here. Dome lights, reverse lights. These are going to be amber lights with the front corners. And then I got these for possibly the cluster in the interior, but for sure the rear lights over there and the license plate lights. I personally really like this brand. I found these on Amazon a while back, and they are amazing. These things are so bright. These dome lights will blow you away. Same with the reverse lights. I am hoping to get brake light bulbs for this as well. I have them in spud, and it's really nice. And I think when I change the hatch over, I'm going to put a third brake light in with a third one of these for whatever the third brake light bulb is, just so you got lights right away when I'm hitting the brakes, because these cars are small, and with modern SUVs being huge, I mean, go look at like a 2022 Cadillac or Yukon. They're massive compared to these old little things. So anyway, let's go ahead and knock out some bulbage and see if we can't get some interior lights working and some exterior lights working, because that would be extremely nice.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race. Every move was on the page, but I didn't like their way. Had to fight and misbehave, had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. And I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't have to plan it, I can go change my fate. You won't understand it, all alone, that's okay. People I can't stand, man, they don't want me to change. Keep me where I'm standing, and I don't wanna be where I am. And I want something more, take a chance. It could be possibly my last dance, my last dance. And I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do what I love till my heart stops beating. I'm feeding this demon. Got a taste, can't erase bitterness in my face. Work a job every day till your dreams fade away. Like a card, never change, play the game that we say. I need a break. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. Face on when I chase like that, yeah, I play so strong with a knife in the back. I'ma swing home run like a baseball bat. Gonna see me rise, you can hate on that. I don't play both sides, doing me no cap. I'ma ride or die for my dreams on tap. I'ma fly real high, you ain't see me slack. No, it's not how you fall, it's how you get right back up. That's how you get tough, calluses on my hands so rough. Yeah, I call your bluff, I'm not the one. Mess with me and come out with none, cause I'm so done. You had your fun, and now you're gonna face down the barrel of the gun. Cause I got a full clip with your name on it, but I'ma let you slide cause you ain't worth it. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on. I'm staying strong, need to move on to be what I want. I'll keep dreaming on.
Alrighty, we have lenses and lights in the front. The connector from the back of that one was not working, which is why it wasn't working earlier, but sadly the headlight bucket is kind of corroded and stuck in there and didn't really want to go in place, so I had to kind of fish it out, but I made her work. Really, that's all I got for right now, I guess. I'm not going to be doing anything else major. Wait a minute, dome lights. I almost forgot. Well, sadly, this one's not working, but oh well, it is what it is. So, think another time I'm going to throw these speaker shelves in here with some speakers. I got a parcel shelf to drop in there, too. Yeah. It's a bunch of fresh lights. Fresh other stuff. Fresh look at. Fresh pull stuff out. Fresh stuff. Yep. That's really all I got for today, guys. I'm gonna go get a haircut soon, I think. Look at my hair, it's getting a little bit shaggy. And got a bunch of more stuff planned in the future for this thing. I don't really know what I'm gonna knock out, but I got that little list I kind of showed at the beginning of the video. I've been jotting stuff down on it. So as things come up, I'm gonna kind of knock them out, and we'll keep figuring out what to do with this whole thing. Stay tuned. Lift kit, tires, bunch of other stuff's in the works for this thing. So really looking forward to the summer with this thing. It's going to be a ton of fun. I'm actually going to start driving it to work now every day now that I got 2 functioning headlights and good tires and everything like that on it. So hope you guys have a great one. Thanks for watching. If there's any how-tos that you guys would like made on these Toyota vehicles, I would happily make anything I can. I'll make sure I spend a lot of extra time to do a really good job of articulating my words and all that sort of fun stuff. But yeah, if there's anything you guys would love to see on these things, hit me up, drop a note in the word spot. I'd love to help you guys out. If you have any of these things sitting in your yard or any parts related to these things, shoot me an email or drop a comment. You'd be surprised at how far I'll travel for one. Can't really go to, the UK or anything like that right now, but, it is what it is. But anyway, I'll stop yakking. Thanks a ton for watching, and I will catch you guys at the next one. Adios!